Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman. I'm joined by the overseas fighter looking to and starting to make a name for himself back in action and for the first time on home soil on August 27th. He is the undefeated super bantamweight prospect El Morenito, Nathan Rodriguez. Nathan, first of all, how's life treating you?
It's awesome. I'm blessed. I can't complain. I'm grateful to wake up another day. A lot of people don't see that, but it's truly a blessing. So, like I said, I can't complain.
Nathan, let's rewind a bit. Let's get to know you a little bit. Before you laced on the boxing gloves, I want to know what got you to put on the boxing gloves in the first place. What was that trigger, that memory that you remember that wanted you to get from watching boxing or seeing boxing to putting on those gloves in the first place?
Well, it all started off with my brother. We actually both started playing baseball. Most of our life. My brother was kind of a troublemaker around high school time. He was always getting into a lot of trouble and fights and stuff. So my dad took him to the gym to try to discipline him and kind of get him straight. But my brother ended up liking it, and he was good. So he kept training and training. And at the time, I wasn't doing anything. I had stopped playing baseball. So I always wanted to try new sports and new things. So I asked my dad, to put me in the gym so I can try it out. And the coach told me that, I had something, I was pretty good, that I had the technique down, and it was something different, especially when I sparred. They put me to spar the second week, and from there I just fell in love with the feeling, the adrenaline rush, and from there I just kept on going.
In terms of you kind of watching boxing growing up, were there particular fighters that you looked at, watched, and have tried to implement in the style that you have with your fighting style?
Yeah, well, I like to watch a lot of Canelo, especially in the beginning. But as I continue to go into boxing, I like more now of Mayweather style. I like how he hits and he likes to move. As a fighter, you want to be as safe as possible and take the least amount of damage as you can. But I have kind of more of both styles. I can be a brawler, or I could fight smart. So I like Mayweather and Canelo.
You've had an interesting career already, being that you've had to fight overseas to get your fights in because of your age. But those are experiences which for fighters you really can't buy. It's almost like the amateurs kind of go around, don't they, around the world, and when they enter into tournaments, they get that experience. But you've been doing that already in yourself in the pro game. So talk to me about those experiences yourself and how you feel those foreign experiences have brought you on.
Definitely, it's an amazing experience. It's a beautiful experience. In the amateurs, I only had 10 fights, so I really didn't do any traveling in the amateurs. But in the pros, like you said, I did. I fought, I believe, 5 times or 6 times in Costa Rica and 2 or 3 times in Mexico. So it's definitely an amazing experience to be able to also build that fan base out there as well, and get that support from another country. They treated me nothing but with respect out there, and I definitely love to go back and fight out there
You
again.
got the UK in your sights at all?
Um, Not as of right now, but God willing, in the future we can do something over there.
So let's talk about your record so far. What the main thing that sticks out, as I'm sure you'll know, considering you've been the one in those fights, is the majority of the fights that you've been in have finished early because of the power that you're carrying so far in the ring. So when it comes to me speaking to fighters like yourself, I always kind of get intrigued because there's two schools of thoughts. One of the thoughts is that you work on the power and the power builds, or you're born with that power and that's just something that you have as a gift. Tell me, Nathan, from your opinion, where does the power come from?
Well, definitely. Well, these last 2 fights, I've been working with a new trainer, Coach G, and also a new strength conditioning coach, Mark and Andy, which they've been helping me a lot with my power. And the last 2 fights, I definitely can see the difference in my body. I can feel the difference. But even before, I guess I can just say I was born with the power. But Andy and Mark are definitely helping me a lot more, and taking me to a different level with my power.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword as well, because the other side of it is you want this experience in terms of the rounds too. So is there a case where you want to kind of maybe like feel yourself out with your next fight or the fights coming on, or you just want to keep doing what you're doing?
No, exactly, definitely. Like I said, I didn't have many fights in the amateurs, So as a pro, I got to get as many rounds in as I can, but also doing it safely. Every fight, I try not to rush. I like to take my time, figure the opponent out. If the knockout comes, it comes, and I just try to end it. But other than that, I'll go in there, I'll take my time, I'll box, and like I said, get those rounds of experience.
Your next fight out on the Marv Nation card is August 27th, as we mentioned. You're fighting in front of a hometown crowd. That brings in itself its own pressure. I wonder for yourself, Nathan, as a kid with that pressure on your shoulders, do you feel it as pressure? Do you not notice that? What's your take on that?
Well, I don't really take that pressure on, all my fights. I don't know if maybe it's different because I've been fighting, out of country and maybe not in front of family and friends, but before my fights, I've never felt nervous. I've never felt any type of feeling other than, being ready and just wanting to get in that ring. But as of right now, I'm more excited than anything, no pressure, because I know I'm just going to work hard and I have an amazing team behind me. So as of right now, I'm just ready and more excited than anything.
And the other side of the pressure is as well, because of what you've been doing in the ring, people will like to put ceilings on you. I want to see you kind of get to the top. I see that Marvin said as well, he's talking very, very well about kind of where you can get to. It must be nice to kind of have that feeling that there's that about you, but do you put yourself do you have a strict goal with yourself? Or what is boxing? What is the goal with boxing for yourself?
Well, every fight I try to look better and better. Like you said, there's a lot of people that have eyes on me right now, and my goal is just to look better every fight. And I mean, every boxer's dream is to become a champion, and little by little we're taking those steps to becoming a champion. And August 27th is going to be one of those steps to opening up many doors for that.
Let's get you a couple of thoughts on a couple of things away from yourself, Nathan. Do you keep an eye much on the super bantamweight we're seeing, which you're in? A lot of good fights and a lot of good fighters at the top of the division, specifically Stephen Fulton's and your Akhmadalievs. A lot of people looking for that fight to happen as soon as possible. What's your thoughts on those two fighters?
Yeah, I don't keep too much. I don't watch too much on my way. I've heard about Fulton. I seen the fight with him and I believe Figueroa, which was a good fight. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could say, they work hard. I give them all the respect and the credit, where it's due. Well, those are future opponents, and I hope to be able to fight them not one of these days, but in the future, and fighting for a world title.
You mentioned Canelo was someone that you've been watching as you're growing up, and Canelo's in a big fight against Triple G, the trilogy coming off of the loss. Yeah. This is for the undisputed titles at super middleweight. What's your thoughts on that fight?
Well, I believe I'm Team Canelo. I feel like Triple G, he's still a beast, but he's just a little too old now. But I mean, it's boxing, anything can happen. One punch can change the whole fight. But I believe right now Canelo is still in his prime. He's young, he's hungry, especially after his last loss. He's gonna bounce back and he's gonna come strong for sure.
You're keeping an eye on the heavyweight scene as well. Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. I should say Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, the rematch there over in Saudi Arabia. What's your thoughts on that one as well?
I think Usyk takes the rematch as well. He's a lot faster. He's a lot more technical than Joshua. Joshua is, I mean, he's strong, but he's not too fast. He's not fast enough for Usyk. But like I said, it's boxing. Anything can happen.
Bringing this back to you, I had a look through your Instagram before this interview, and I was looking through a couple of the videos where you're talking about kind of people keying into their own path and trusting in their faith to, guide them on their own path to get to where they want to. It seemed like from that video, your faith is the key to your life and the success that you want to achieve in your life.
Yeah, most definitely. Honestly, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. Like I said, with the experience and the talent I have, a lot of people tell me, that I'm gifted, and I really do believe it because I only have 10 amateur fights. I have no experience, and I'm able to, like, inspiring and stuff, to be able to keep up with fighters or professionals that have been fighting, most of their life. So I'm definitely blessed with the talent, and I'm trying to make the most of it and keep going.
Final couple of things for me then, Nathan. First of all, August 27th, you're back out in action. Tell me what happens when you step through the ropes.
I don't like to speak too much. I like to let my work do the talk, but I can just guarantee that it's gonna be a great night of fights. I'm gonna be able to showcase my skill against a great opponent. So like I said, I just want to look better every fight, and I'm gonna train hard, and I'm gonna be prepared come August 27th.
And for people who are watching this interview and want to follow your journey, follow your progress, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can follow me on Instagram at El Morenito Boxing.
It's been a pleasure speaking to you, Nathan. I wish you all the best for August 27th. We'll catch up soon. Again, once again, all the best. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you.
Good man.